All right, guys, I want to talk to you about negotiating a salary, negotiating buying a car, buying a house, selling something. I want to talk to you about how to negotiate everything, especially a salary in your job. Now, my name is Dustin Heiner. I'm with Master Passive Income. That's where I help people learn how to quit their jobs by investing in real estate rental properties so they never have to work a job again. Now, in my business of real estate, I negotiate all the time. But I also started negotiating when I had a job, negotiating my salary. I actually negotiated my salary 20% increase because I was able to negotiate. And I want to show you these principles that I've used in my business, in my life, to change my life, to make more money, to save more money, and have a better life. Because you can negotiate basically anything in life. It could be anything from, you're working for somebody and you increase the amount of money they pay you, your salary, or you're buying something, you get the price down. You're selling something, you get the price up. It could be, hey, your brother or sister, your sibling is trying to get you to clean the yard and it's your job, but you negotiate with them where they do part of the work and you do part of the work, and that's a negotiation. So negotiating is basically you have two parties or more, maybe 3, 4, but you have different parties involved and they have something in common. And you want to give and take and you want to have a negotiation. Basically, you work together to come to an agreement about a certain subject, a certain topic. And so most easily we can think of is our salaries for our job or starting a new career, all that sort of stuff. We can actually negotiate everything. But what I want to do, instead of giving you step by step how to negotiate your salary, because what's going to happen is you're going to realize negotiation process is both an art and a science. There's two parts to it. Now, I'm going to give you the science for sure. I'm going to give you the step-by-step things that you need to do, but it's also an art. So I can't tell you everything about the art and how you can do it in your specific situation, but I'll give you the principle. The principle of the art is playing the person. So whoever you're dealing with, if it's your boss, if it's somebody who's selling a used car, whatever it might be, you need to play the person. And in poker, in playing poker, you're sitting at the table and you're playing against other people. You think you're playing your cards, the hands, the cards that you have in your hand. You think, okay, I have this hand, this will beat other ones. Poker's not about that. Poker is all about playing the person. Whoever is sitting across from you, whoever you're playing against, you want to play the person, not the hand. That's why there's something called bluffing. You bluff because it's part of the negotiation process. You use so many different tactics to make the other person think that they are either in a bad position, so they fold, or they're in a good position, so they bet more, so you then win, because there's so many great things about negotiating. But that's the thing about the art of negotiating. You play the person instead of the situation. Let's say your situation is, I need an increase in my salary. So do you go to your boss and you literally tell them, hey boss, I've been doing a good job. I need more money. I have this bill. I have this bill. I have this bill. I have this bill. I have to pay for this. I want to go on this trip. I. What's bad about that is your boss is thinking, I don't care. I'm paying you for work. It doesn't matter that you need more money. It only matters that you are producing more, that you're making me more money or making my life better. And so if you're only talking about yourself, you're not putting yourself in their shoes. So with negotiation, you play the person. So if it's your boss, what you do is you understand what their needs are, what they need for the position that you're actually working in. Are you doing better than other people? Show them what you can do better. So you need to understand everything about what your boss wants, what your boss needs, and how you can give them to them and play to their needs. If you prove to them that you are much more valuable than other people, that because of you, you've done so much and you're going to do so much more, you're going to make them more money or save them more money. If you make it all about the person, remember, this is the art of negotiating. If you make it about the person, about how you can help them, and you need to make them believe that because they are giving you a raise, you are going to be doing better, and they need to give you a raise. They need to give you that increase in salary because of what you are doing for them. And if they don't, they're going to lose out if they don't give you that raise. Not going to say, hey, I'm going to quit if you don't give me a raise. You don't say anything like that, but you make them believe, I need to give them, this person, I need to give them a raise because they are fantastic. So you need to, with the art, you present everything about them, why they should give you a raise. You need to convince them why they need to give you a raise, not any reasons about you. Don't say, I this, I that, I this. You say, well, the company is better with me, and you give them the reasons why. And so that's the art. I can't tell you exactly how your situation is. You need to do that. Now, the science is exactly what I'm going to give you. I'm going to give you so many key principles and these ninja negotiating hacks in order to get what you want, not just in your salary, but if you're buying a car, if you're buying a house, you're selling things on eBay, whatever it might be, I'm going to give you these principles to apply into your life so that your life can be better. You can make more money, save more money, invest more money, and just have a better life. Now, the key principles, there are 4 key principles that you need to start with before I get into the actual negotiating hacks. So get into the 4 key principles. The first key principle is never pay the asking price or never agree on the very, very first thing. In any negotiating, salary, buying things or whatever, never agree on the very, very first thing because everybody is flexible. I don't care if they say no. I go to big stores and I just literally ask, hey, this is the price, but there's this, and this wrong with it. Can I get a discount on it? And you're going to find that a lot of times people say yes. What happens if you just ask? You already have a no now. If you want, 10% off of this, if you don't ask, you already don't have a 10% off. So you already have a no. If you ask, you could potentially get 10% off, or you get some sort of discount. So if you ask, you automatically are one leg up. So whatever the initial offer is, never accept that. Always ask for a decrease if you're paying money, an increase if you're spending money, or you're selling something. You always want to never take the first offer. That's the first key principle. The next thing is seek to create a win-win. You want to seek to create a win-win in every situation in life, and especially negotiating. Let's say I'm at Best Buy and there's a product and it's damaged, but I still want it. It looks fine. I can maybe fix it, or it works fine, just maybe the box is damaged. The company wants to sell that. That's their win. I want to buy it. That's my win. But a win-win was they can't sell it for full price because nobody's going to buy it. I'm not going to buy it for full price. And so a win-win would have them decrease. So you want to seek to get a win-win in every situation. I'll give you an example. A win-win in your salary, if with your boss. A win-win would be you are performing more. Let's say your boss needs extra tasks done in the business and you are able to take on those tasks. But you would say, you know what? I see that you have these things you need to get done. I will put extra effort and I will get these things done. And for my raise, you're already asking for a raise. Say, because I'm asking for a 20% raise, I'm willing to put more work in. I'm willing to take on more responsibilities. And in doing that, you're making yourself more valuable. So you're seeking to create a win-win. And along with the win-win, you want to seek to have a give and take, where you give a little, they give a little. You give a little, they give a little. They give a little, you give a little. Just back and forth until you can make, like you're up here and they're down there. You give a little, they give a little. You give a little, they give a little. And eventually you're at the same spot. And that's how the negotiation process works. When I buy a real estate rental property that makes me $250 or more every single month, I buy the property, but I don't give the asking price. Like, let's say they're asking $100,000. I don't say, okay, here's the $100,000. I never do. Even if it's a seller's market, I still never do that. I want a deal. I'm an investor. I buy things at a deal. So I'll offer $85,000. They're at $100,000. I'm at $85,000. They give a little, they come down to like 95. I come up to 87 or 88. And then we keep working to what maybe we meet like 92,000. Well, I came up, they came down, and I've saved $7,000. And so just in that working, negotiating, I've saved money. So you want to have a give and take as you are going through the negotiating process. And the last key principle before I get into the actual hacks, I want you to never give in without getting something in return. Never say, oh, okay, I'll concede to that. Like, let's say you're trying to come down to on a price. Like, I'm at 100,000, or they're at 100,000, I'm at 85. I'm not going to just, they come down to 95. I'm not going to come up to 87 and they don't move. I'm not going to move again unless I get something in return. We want to move when they move. We don't want to give in without getting, like, let's say I have this, I'm selling, a product A, product B, and product C. Here you go. Well, let me throw in product E, or D. Let me throw in product E. Let me just keep throwing in. You always want to get something in return, which might be a little higher price or something like that. So when you're negotiating, you always want to have these 4 key principles in mind. Now, if you're like me, you may love negotiating. I absolutely love negotiating. But if you're like my wife, she hates it. Now, I want to help you to understand how to make negotiating a part of your process in your thinking. Number one, always just tell yourself, I'm always going to negotiate. But here's how you can help yourself actually get into it. Make it some sort of a game. Make it a game to where, you know what, I'm going to play a game. I want to win. Obviously, it's a win-win situation, but we want to win. And just tell yourself, I want to win by charging less or charging more for something or selling something for more or buying something for less. That's a game. Make it a game and make it fun. Make it enjoyable. Another way is to change your mindset. Change your mindset until instead of you being the one doing the negotiating for yourself, imagine yourself as a third party. Let's say I want a raise for myself. I'm not going to go in negotiating like, hey, I want this, I want that. No, you go in there as a third party. You don't talk about yourself in the third person, but what you do is you bring yourself emotionally out of the situation so you're not going to be emotionally tied to whatever you're asking for. Because in the art of negotiating, it's that you care, but you don't care that much, that you are just holding on to it. Remember, we want to give and we want to take. We want to give and we take. If we are so emotional and we're just taking, there's no giving. And the other person's not going to buy into that. So you want to make sure that you are giving and taking. So try to have that. Try to make it a game, but at the same time, you can also make it where you're the third party, where you care, but not that much, so you don't get emotionally involved, and you can pull yourself out and make a good negotiation process. Now, let's get into the negotiating hacks. Now, the big thing you can always do is know the person before you actually start negotiating. Know what they want, know what they need, just like we talked about earlier. If you know the person, you can have a leg up. Information will help you to know what their win-win is. It could be looking up on social media and figuring out what they might like or what they might want. Or it's literally asking. When I go and buy a property that I'm going to rent out, so I rent out rental properties. That's my business. I teach people how to buy properties, rent them out, and make $250 or more every single month. That's what I do. And so when I buy properties, I make sure I negotiate. But here's the thing. It's hard to find out about the person beforehand because I don't know really who they are. But in talking to them, I come across as a normal person, as somebody, hey, I'm just trying to help you out. How can I help you out? Let me know what you need. And then they tell me what they need, which helps me to understand how to negotiate better, how to make a win-win situation, because I know what I need. Now I know what they need, so I can negotiate even better. You also need to know what you want. You also need to make sure you understand what is your top dollar that you can spend, or what's the lowest you could spend it for, or if you're getting a salary, what is the most that you, or the minimum, the bare minimum that you need in order to, be okay with staying at this job or taking on another job. Know what you need before you go in there. Don't go in there without a plan. You have to have a plan before you go in and negotiate so you know what your set point is. Your set point is basically, if it's a top dollar, this is the most I can pay. Know your set point. If this is the minimum that I can take for my salary, this is the minimum. That's your set point. Make sure you do not go below that, just like you do not go above your top dollar. Just like if you're in an auction, the auctioneer's bidding off everything and they're going up higher and higher. Well, your top dollar is say $85. If you go a penny above that, then the floodgates open and then you keep going. You spend even more money. Same thing. If you go below the minimum set point of how much salary you want an increase. If you go below that, then it's like the floodgates and you just, I'll go more. Know where you're at. And then that's your bottom line. That's your minimum and maximum set points. Another hack is know who has the upper hand going into the negotiation. If you have the upper hand, it's much easier. Let's say, you're negotiating a salary and you just made the company $10 million. Well, you have the upper hand because you provided something that they need and you have the huge upper hand so you can actually go into the negotiation with a little more pull. If they are in the upper hand, let's say you haven't done anything good or done anything dramatically good, that you do your job just fine and you just go in for ask for a raise, your boss has a little bit of an upper hand. Now, let's say you're selling a product and there's so much demand for it and your product it could get priced higher because there's so many people want to buy it. Well, you have the upper hand. If you go into negotiation knowing who has the upper hand, you can have a different mindset. If you go into negotiation where you have the upper hand, then you can be a little more firm in your position. If you have the underhand, if the other person has the upper hand, then you can be a little more giving, or you need to be a little more giving, because if they have their upper hand, they could just say no and walk away. You want to know who has the upper hand so you can approach that differently. Remember, it's an art and a science. The art is playing the person. Another huge one, and I just talked about that just a minute ago, is you want to make sure you ask. Always ask. Always ask the question, can I get a discount on this? Or are you flexible on this? And here's a big thing that I tell to my wife, and I'll tell you, if you at all don't like negotiating, the easiest way to negotiate, to start the negotiation, if you're buying something, let's just start there. You say, are you flexible on the price? Are you flexible? Or, can you come down a little on the price? You don't even have to be direct and say, I need 10% off. Just say, hey, are you flexible on the price? Literally those words. Are you flexible on the price? 6 words. If you're buying anything, they'll either say yes or no. If they say no, okay, you already had your no beforehand, you're good. If they are, then you might get a discount. That's what you want, is ask if you're flexible on your price. So just ask. Just ask. Now, here is a huge one that I want to give you. If you are asking for a sale, like you're going and you're selling a product, you're giving your pitch, and then you get to the price, and then you say, well, how about it? Are you ready to buy? And then you pause, like you literally pause. Like this is the big tip. I know it's kind of awkward on the video, but you just pause. You just literally sit there. If you're asking for an increase in salary, you say, well, boss, I've done this, this, and this, and I will do this and this and this, and the business will grow. And because of me, your company is going to be doing fantastic. It's going to be doing better and better. I need a 15% raise in my salary. That's it. I know it's awkward, but that was only like 5 seconds, or maybe 3 to 5 seconds. Imagine waiting for 15 seconds, 20 seconds, and just wait. It's going to be awkward, but here's the big tip. Out of all this video, this is the thing you're going to have to learn. The first person to talk after that pitch, after that ask, loses. It's magic. I don't know how it works, but it's just magic. If you pause, if this happens, you say, well, boss, I need a 15% raise. But how about I give you this? You lost. You already lost. He already has the upper hand now. He might give you a raise, but usually it might just say, no, we don't have it right now. But if you just say, I need a 15% raise. And you just sit there. You wait until they talk. That was only, like I said, 5, 6, 7 seconds. Imagine waiting 15 seconds, 30 seconds, 45 seconds, a minute. I've heard of situations where negotiation process where both men knew the entire process and they knew whoever talks first loses. And so the guy made the pitch, asked, hey, are you willing to buy? The other guy didn't say a word. For like 5 minutes, they sat there looking at each other because they both knew and they were wondering who's going to actually give in first. But here's the thing. It's magic. If you just ask and don't say a word, the other person starts to sweat. Start like, what's going on? And they start putting in the defensive. So if you take anything away, if you're going to ask for a salary, this is the thing that you need to do. Ask for the raise. Prove every reason why. But when you ask, shut up. Don't say a word. That's how I increased my income, my salary by 20%. I want to see you do that too. Another big one I want to give you is never stop negotiating until the deal is done, until the money's changed hand and everything. I'll give you an example. One of my students was buying a rental property. He bought the property, I think, for maybe $45,000, and he's going to be making, or he is making $400 a month in passive income. That's literally not working and making money, and that's what I showed him how to do. But in the process, number one, I got him to decrease the amount of money he had to pay. They were asking like $50,000. I helped him to negotiate it down by $5,000. So we got to $45,000. But right as they were about ready to close, we found out, hey, there's a problem with the roof. We went back to them and said, hey, there's a problem with the roof. And I coached him how to do this. There's a problem with the roof. We need to repair it. I'm willing to pay half. Would you give in half? Would you give us a credit on the purchase of, they say it's a total of $6,000. Take off $3,000 off the purchase price and as a credit, and we will, overlook the roof and we'll take care of it ourselves. They said, yes, that's $3,000 extra without even, you've already negotiated everything. So never stop negotiating until the deal is absolutely done. And one last great one I'm going to give you, and there are so many more negotiating hacks I want to give you. Go to my website, masterpassiveincome.com, and go there. And I'll put it inside the description as well, showing you all the great negotiating hacks that you can have and implement in your business. I give you even more examples of how to do it. So go in the description below and get inside and see that entire process of negotiating hacks. But the last one I want to give you is be willing to walk away. Very, very simple. Be willing to walk away. Now, I know it's going to be rather hard, but you need to be okay with saying, you know what? I'm walking away. And it could be walking away from your job. Like, let's say it's time for me to leave because I literally can't make enough money to work here. It could be I'm buying a car. Well, they're not coming down. I'm willing to walk away. But here's the key too. Along with being willing to walk away, show it. You want to show, like, say, okay, well, I guess we can't make a deal. All right, see ya. And then turn around and start walking. You can do that. Now, it's not done. That's just a tactic to get your negotiating process through the roof, like through the process and actually get the sale or get the purchase. And so you need to be willing to, put whatever item down or walk away from your job. You need to be willing to do that, but more so, be willing to show it and say, hey, boss, I might need to leave. Okay, well, I got another offer for another job. And pause and just sit there and see if they're willing to grab onto that. Last thing you could do is actually quit your job. But the other thing you could do is say, you know what, I came back and I realized this is a better job, just to keep your job. So you don't want to give them ultimatum. It's either me or, the raise or the job or whatever. You don't want to do that. You just want to make sure that you have an upper hand, but you want to use these negotiating hacks in order to get what you want out of life. And so you can apply this every single place in life. I've done this so often in my life that my life is so much better because of it. Now, just like negotiating, I want to show you how to invest in real estate rental properties so you never, ever have to work a job again. I want to give you a free real estate investing course. I want you to learn how to analyze properties, how to make money every single month, how to never have to work a job again. I literally work 30 minutes a month. 30 minutes a month. That's it on all my properties, and I make $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a month from my rental properties. It's absolutely fantastic. So in the description below, it's masterpassiveincome.com/free course. Get that free course, and I want to get you started in investing in real estate. Now, on top of all of those hacks, there are so many more I want to give you. Go to the description. I have the actual link to the article that I wrote giving you all these great things of how to negotiate everything in life. All right, guys, you've been fantastic. Again, Dustin Heiner with Master Passive Income. I'll see you next time.